Now, how long does a foreclosure take in Florida? That's a great question. In this video, we're gonna walk you through that. I'm gonna try not to get you caught up in the weeds on this because this is something that people do, but I'm gonna walk you step by step through the whole process so you can kind of determine what that looks like. What's that process on here? One of the things I will do is this. At the very end of this video, okay, I got a little bonus for you, but I'll also do this. All of my notes that I have that I'm looking at here, I will make sure that you have those available so you'll have those the context to that also. And again, look, anytime you're looking at any of this stuff, I'm giving you this 30,000 foot view on this. You need to look at it. This is more for those of you going, what's the process here? What's going on when I'm foreclosing on a property in the state of Florida? So let's just jump right into it. And by the time we're done with this, I got a little bonus for you. So stick around for that, okay? Thumbs up, all that good stuff, if you like, I don't know. Foreclosure process in Florida can vary significantly in duration. How long? Typically, it takes anywhere from 6 months, sometimes even 2 years, depending on the complexity of it. But that's kind of rare. Again, that's more of a disclaimer statement than anything else. So what I want you to look at is this. Typically, you should look at about 6 months. Probably not that long, but that's what you're looking at. Several factors will influence how long the foreclosure takes, including the owner, their response in the property. The owner could file bankruptcy. That's not going to eliminate you from getting the property because it's in foreclosure for tax sale. It just might delay things, okay? So that's what you're looking at. Missed payments. Let's say it's because of missed payments. The foreclosure timeline is 30 to 90 days. The lender is going to have some grace period in there. It depends on what it is in that particular situation. Pre-foreclosure notices will go out in that situation. Then the filing of a foreclosure lawsuit will take probably or start anywhere. Again, it depends on the aggressiveness of it. Minimum, of 1 month, but typically that 3rd month timeline on that. The borrower is served with the notification, and if the borrower doesn't respond within 20 days of the complaint, that's when the foreclosure process can start. Court proceedings, several months over a year. Now again, this can be 1 year to 6 months to 1 year, but if you're talking about strictly a tax lien sale that goes to tax deed, it's not that long. We're talking 3 months. They're not failing to miss payments. If they don't come in within a prescribed amount of time to pay off the delinquent taxes, you're done on that. And then what happens is there's an auction date set up on this. That usually takes about 1 to 2 months once they've missed all their timelines on it. And then what happens is there can be a right of redemption. Now that the courts know that everybody's been given notification on this, which means the borrower can stop the foreclosure and pay the full amount of back taxes on this, including fees, court documents at that point up until the auction. So that typically can take anywhere from about 30 to 60 days, or that will be given. Okay, so as you can see, so we're filing the foreclosure on it, all these notifications going, there's 2 to 3 months, and then once that process has been finished, there's another redemption period. Now that we've notified everybody, it's going to go to sale. It's usually, people say 3 months. No, they're pretty good in Florida. It's going to happen in usually 30 to 90 or 60 days on that. Eviction process, again, that's 30 to 60 days. This is Florida. They have very strict rules on this. Once the writ of possession, this court order begins the eviction process, the local sheriff typically gives them 24 to 48 hours to get out. That's really what it's coming down to. Now, the alternative to all of this, that all sounds really harsh, but I want you to understand, before you and I get involved, literally, 4 years have gone by. It's not like this is just happening, okay? This means 4 years before you and I even got involved is happening. Then on top of that, all these other things. And look, you guys, I've got a brand new course on all of this. If you just want to hit the link down below, higginsmethod.com, and sign up for that. Continue to watch this, but you can sign up for that on a separate tab or something. Literally, it's free. It's my gift to you, so we can have that. So an alternative to foreclosure is maybe I contact the people and say, listen, if you want to just go ahead and do a deed in lieu of foreclosure on this, if you're not going to redeem the taxes on this, maybe this is your parents' house. I don't know what the scenario is. If you're not going to redeem, we can make it really simple. I'll pay you some money and you do a deed over to me in lieu of foreclosure. We don't have to get the sheriffs involved. We don't have the court orders. We don't have to send out these notifications, which requires money. So I'd rather give that to the property owner than do it that way. Basically, the way it works, will work with the homeowner to do maybe even a loan modification. So this is where I can sit there and say, look, if you're in the property or you have a way to get this paid back, I can actually do some modifications where I can say, okay, you've got 90 days to make that happen. Or, maybe they've got a loan that's coming back that they can pay all this stuff off. Again, I'm telling you, you can, if their lips are moving, they're probably lying. You have to get this stuff in writing. Don't sit there and go, oh yeah, I've got an uncle and he's coming, he's in the jungles right now doing some charity work. And no, he's not. He's not in the jungle, he's not doing charity work. This has been 4 or 5 years going. I had a foreclosure that we did in Huntsville, Alabama, and the guys, didn't pay. We're trying to get him out of the property. And, he kept saying this and that and this and that. I go, put the notice on. Now I had 48 hours. All of a sudden he gave us a phone call because he started ghosting us. And I said, listen, you've got $2,500. We'll help you with the move. We'll pay for all the moving and you get cash. Help us out. And it wasn't even his house. It was his parents' house that had lost it. And, that solved all the problems and it made it happen from there. There's also a lot of forbearance, temporary agreement between the borrower or the property owner and me. It's called a forbearance agreement. That's what I was talking about earlier. Again, I'll post all this stuff down there. Short sales aren't going to accommodate us. That's not what we're looking at. And then, of course, I talked about the deed in lieu of foreclosure. A deed in lieu of foreclosure, the property owner voluntarily transfers the ownership of the property to me, you and I, and the borrower gives a deed to the lender, avoiding that foreclosure process. So again, at the sake of repeating myself, you always want to try this. The first thing I want to do is I want to see if I can get a hold of that property owner via skip trace. Some of you know I've used some of my software out there for that, the Pi software. It's phenomenal. Send out loaded notifications. I send out handwritten notices. I use my sticker strategy, in which you can watch other videos on that help out with it. But there's all sorts of different ways. So really, none of these work unless you get a hold of the property owner. So, the first thing you want to do, and I'm not talking about sending out notifications, really, whatever the address of record, you're good to go. You're fulfilling a legal obligation. I'm talking about really getting a hold of the property owner, really getting a hold of them and saying, we are taking this property unless you do something. I don't want to do this unless you do these things. And that could be paying us. That could be setting up a forbearance. That could be saying, hey, you need 60 days. Why? What's going to happen in 60 days? How are you getting the money? I want to document this. And if it doesn't happen, because I don't want them to just kick the can, because you get that velocity of money on there going on. Those are some of the things that you need to look at with the foreclosure in the state of Florida. Now remember, all of these things are really cool. To know, you need to know this going in. Before I get a property, I want to know what attorneys handle this, what their fee structure is involved, what their time period. Now look at it. An attorney is going to say, oh, this could take 6 months to a year, all of that good stuff. I get all that because they don't know what they're getting into, but you need to know who, how much, how long, all those things before you get in there, and understand just a glossary of what your options are besides foreclosure. For those of you that want the course, I've got a brand new course on this I just put together. Go to higginsmethod.com, click the link down below on that. We've got all sorts of goodies for you there that'll help you get through this whole process, okay? Hopefully this was helpful. Leave a comment or whatever you got at the bottom. God bless, good luck. We'll see you out there.